Hello everyone, so you're going to have to excuse my hair throughout the whole of this video, as I say in like every video. So for ages I've put off getting this concealer because I've just seen so many people rave about it, and I'm not one to sort of get like the dupe of products, you could say. Like, I don't know, like I just like normally with makeup, I don't know if you're like me, but I love to spend my money on makeup, especially like high-end makeup. I do love drugstore makeup. I love them both like equally. No, I wouldn't say equally the same. I love high-end a bit more because I just love to buy high-end makeup. I've been interested in makeup for such a long time now, and makeup is my passion, and makeup is obviously something I want to revolve my career around. So that was a long speech. Anyway, so I picked up the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Conceal and Contour Concealer. So everyone is saying that this is a dupe for the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. If you've watched me for a while, you'll know this is my favourite concealer ever, the Tarte Shape Tape. While I was in America, I actually picked up a better shade for me, which is the shade Light Medium. This is the shade I'm going to be using today. I do have two other shades as well, which I've used for the past year, and they've been absolutely fine, but I do find them a bit too light. But I have made them work since I've had them. So I've got the shade Light and Fair. As you will see, Fair is like the more sort of white tone, and then Fair is the more sort of pinky tone. So if you are of more of a lighter complexion, then preferably lighter complexions tend to be more of a pinky tone. But if you are fair and you are more of a yellow tone, then I would go for Fair. No, sorry, the pinky tone is light, not fair. So pinky tone is light, yellowy tone, Fair. And yeah, this is just my favourite concealer. So we will get on to the comparison. So the Makeup Revolution one, I just want to show you, like, obviously this is about, I cannot remember for the life of me how much this is. I believe it's about $27 or $25. In the UK, I think it's about £22, but I could be wrong. So I'm going to list the price on the screen right now. This is £4. I'm not sure how much this is in dollars, because I do know they are doing it in America now as well. But I just want to show you the packaging between sort of each product. So the Makeup Revolution one, as you can see, you just get like this little plastic sleeve. This is the annoying plastic sleeve that you get on like lip liners, but you just obviously pull it off and then Bob's your uncle. And then the Tarte Shape Tape one comes in a box, so obviously you're paying for the quality of this one as well. You just get this nice little box. It says cruelty free, Tarte, has the nice little symbol, and I'm just going to read to you the difference in size. So the Tarte Shape Tape is 10mm, so there you can see if my camera wants to focus on it. Whereas in the Makeup Revolution one, you actually get 3.4ml, so you get quite a lot more in the Tarte one. I'm going to take the Tarte one out the box so you can see what it looks like. You already know what it looks like, so yeah. So this is the shade Light Medium, which is better for my skin tone. The other ones I found were a bit too light, as I said, but they're great as an eye base. I wouldn't usually use them, well, I would use them under my eyes, like for if I wanted a dramatic look, but if I was going for more of a natural glam look in the day, then I wouldn't always use them underneath my eyes unless I was mixing them with another shade. So as you can see, the difference in the bottles is quite a, well, not that much difference. The lid of Tarte Shape Tape is obviously a lot nicer, and obviously you're paying a lot more for the Tarte one, so of course the Tarte one is going to be a lot nicer packaging. So this is them side by side. I'm going to apply the Tarte one on this side of my face, and then I'm going to apply the Revolution one on this side of my face. I'm going to blend my Tarte one in because obviously I know how this one works, and then I'm going to do the sort of Revolution one. So to blend them in, I would usually use, if I'm going for more sort of heavy coverage with a concealer, sometimes I use a brush, sometimes I'll use, my hair is a joke. Sometimes I will use a brush with like a domed tip, like a concealer brush like this, and then sometimes I'll use a larger sort of domed brush. Oh, that one's got hair on. Like this Real Techniques one. Today I'm not going to use a brush, I'm just going to use my beauty blender because the Tarte one is very full coverage anyway, and the Makeup Revolution one, I did swatch it on my hand in Superdrug the other day and it does feel quite thick. So I want to use my beauty blender because a lot of the time when you use a brush, most time when you obviously want more coverage, it's going to crease more anyway. So I'm going to use my beauty blender and give it a fair trial with that. So no brushes for today. By the way, for powder, I will be setting the concealer with my favourite powder, which is the Airspun Loose Face Powder, and this is in Naturally Neutral. I use this all the time, as you'll know if you watch me, so I just wanted to give it like a fair trial by using the powder that I always use. So as you'll be able to see, that is the shape and the size of the applicator of the Tarte one. It has a very big applicator, and as you can see, it picks up a lot of product. So I'm just going to start off by applying this one underneath my eyes. And I sort of bring it down to about there, and I don't apply it straight underneath my eyes because I find it can be too cakey. So that's all I'm going to apply. Just apply a bit in there. Right, that's all I'm going to apply. That's how I apply my Tarte one. Sometimes I would like apply concealer around my face, but it's just going to be underneath my eyes today because I don't always apply it around my face. Most of the time I will just apply it around my eyes. I'm going to blend it in with my beauty blender, which is clean. And with the concealer, what I do, I blend it upwards to my lash line. So that is actually how I apply it to my lash line. Because I find when you apply it from this concealer tip, you can apply far too much there and it sort of cakes up. And our eyes are very like delicate areas, and you don't want to have like loads of product up in that area. Apply like a bit on my nose crevice too, and then any excess I'll like put in this in the corner here. Obviously my eye makeup isn't completely done. I always do that after I've done my concealer majority of the time. So as you will see, for that side it's done. So the coverage is, just zoom it in, the coverage is very full. I will say I've had really bad like actual creasing on this eye since last night. My eye was like really itchy, and I don't know if it was the eye cream I've been using, but yeah, I just wanted to state that out before people were like, it's like crease really bad. But yeah, my eyes are really dry. So the eye primer I actually used, well, I didn't use an eye primer, I used concealer as I normally would, but I didn't use my Tarte one because it can dry my eyes out. So I used my Too Faced Born This Way concealer today, so it was a bit lighter because my eyes were very dry. So that's that side of the sponge. I'm going to flip it round when I do the Makeup Revolution side. I'm going to take this one out of the packaging. Oh no, I already have. Right, so I'm going to compare the applicator. Oh. So the applicator on this is a lot thinner, but it's still quite a thick dome applicator, as you can see. And it's quite a long applicator too. So as you can see, it's a lot thinner, but a lot of product like does build up, like the Tarte one. Just going to apply this how I applied the Tarte one. Quite a good colour actually. So I got this in the shade C5, if you are wondering. It feels really nice. I would say this feels more hydrating. So already I can tell that the coverage is very nice, but I don't feel like it's anywhere near the Tarte one. But let's blend it out. I'm going to blend it up to my lash line. I'm just, as you can see, so that side's from the other concealer. Got a hair. Oh my god, why does the side that I'm using the Tarte one I get loads of hair over my face? Okay, when I was moving up to my lash line, it didn't like want to move. It's already started to crease. I don't know if you wanted to tell. Like in there slightly, like just in there, but that might be because I have creasing there anyway. So see, like when you look in the camera, like with my ISO down, you can see this side has a lot more coverage. No, actually, I would say this side looks a lot more hydrated than that side, but let me know what you think. Yeah, because on my, obviously on my thing, I'm like the opposite side around. Yeah, this side looks a lot more like tighter. This side looks a lot more like hydrated. So I need a little bit more underneath my eye. So obviously with the Tarte one, you're not going to get as much like come off the applicator as you are with the Revolution one. You're not going to get as much like come off the applicator as you are with the Tarte one, because it's like a massive applicator. So I'm just pushing that underneath my eye. Just going to show you, I haven't set either of them yet. Before I set a concealer, I always just go over it with my beauty blender anyway. As you can see, I've got actual lines in my eye here, but as I said, this eye is really dry. But this eye, obviously I've applied quite a lot there just now. The creasing isn't that bad, but the coverage is actually really, when I first applied, it didn't look like the coverage was going to be that much, but I'm actually really impressed with that. Yeah, let's set it. I'm taking the brush that I always use to set. I put my ISO down actually because I thought you can see the colours a bit better now. So I'm using the brush that I always use to set my concealer, which is the e.l.f. Small Tapered brush. And I'm just going to get some powder on here. Yesterday I tried the technique of using my beauty blender damp with powder, and I did quite like it. I used to do that, but I haven't done it in like years. So I'm just going to go do the rest of my makeup, finish all that off, and I'll give you my like little final thoughts. But this won't be my final thoughts of like the whole concealer, because I need like to try concealer out a few times before, like it'll just be my like from my first impressions. And yeah. So, my final thoughts, as you can see the rest of my makeup is done now. I'm just going to zoom in a bit so you don't look so far away. So, I really do think that the Makeup Revolution concealer is actually really good, and I actually will continue to use it. I do actually think, like I said, that it looked a lot more hydrating than my Tarte one, but my Tarte one does dry quite quickly, so that could be another reason why maybe. But I am really impressed with this, and I wasn't actually expecting to like it, because I'm very fussy when it comes to drugstore products, especially from a brand such as Makeup Revolution. I haven't actually used a product of theirs apart from like their like the Freedom Dip Brow Pomade. I haven't actually used like a face product of theirs, like I don't think ever. When I think of a brand like that, you think of like the cheap like concealers that are £1 and that like people review on YouTube and they're absolutely awful. But for them to bring out something that is comparable to something like a brand like Tarte is very impressive. So I would say that if you have not tried this yet, then I would actually recommend just to go give it a go. I am going to continue to use it, and if my opinion changes then I will let you know, but first impressions, I am very impressed. I'm just going to do a swatch on my hand for you of what it's like. So it does feel a lot more hydrating. The Tarte one, I'll just do a tiny swatch because it's expensive. So the colour difference, I would say the Revolution one looks a lot more pink, whereas the Tarte... So my camera decided to run out of memory. So as you can see, they've now dried. The Tarte one is a lot... actually in comparison, yeah, the Tarte one's dried down a lot more matte. So that's the Tarte one there. The other one's the Revolution one. I don't know if you can tell, but the coverage is very good. Very impressed. The applicator is so mad as well. Like the applicator is so similar too. But I do wonder how brands get away with things like that. Like, are they allowed to, like, because it's basically like they basically like copied it and like done it like for cheaper. Like, is that okay? Anyway, I would recommend this. Tarte Shape Tape I think will always be my favourite, because I feel like you get the quality and everything like that, but I do think that this is a dupe. I would say that this blends a lot easier. I would say underneath my eyes this was a little bit, like when I was trying to get it like up underneath my eyes, it was a bit harder to blend, but that was the first time using it and I'm going to give it another go. So, gonna keep using it, let you know how I feel, but first impressions, I'm very impressed and I didn't expect to like it this much. As I said earlier, I'll just remind you, mine is in the shade C5 because I saw a lot of other people saying about this shade was a good shade, and I haven't actually watched that many reviews. I've just like seen people using it in their videos. I think I watched like one review or 2 reviews, but I've actually tried to just keep off of like watching the reviews so I could do my own personal opinion. So let me know what you think, let me know if you pick it up, and yeah, £4, very worth it in my opinion. The only thing I will say is I have heard people have said that it runs out very quickly, so is it worth it in the long run? I don't know. I will let you know what I think in the future. but for first opinions, I'm impressed. Okay, I'm gonna go now because this video is gonna be so long. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already and you'd like to, and also if you don't receive like my videos in your subscription box, you can click the little bell and it will notify you when I upload. So it will, like, as soon as I upload a video, it will send you a notification to like your phone, like how you receive other notifications on your phone, and it will say like blah blah blah, uploaded a video. I do that for like my favourite YouTubers like Jamie Genevieve and Jacqueline Hill and all that sort of thing, people that I like don't want to miss a video from. So I'm just letting you know that you don't have to, but the option's there because I know sometimes YouTube is a bit like Instagram and doesn't like to show our content. So I'm going to go. I will see you next time, so take care, bye.